time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. Happy Monday to everybody out there as we start another week here in, well, can we call it late September now? I guess we can. Moving right along. It'll be October before you know it. Halloween is around the corner. The weather's starting to change here in Southern California. It doesn't change a whole lot, but still, for our standards, gets to be a little bit of a little chill in there, a little less hot, which is nice. Definitely when the sun goes down. But anyway, happy Monday to everyone out there. We are recording this actually Sunday morning. It's a little early here. I'm going to be joined here very soon by head football coach Mark Carson from Rio Hondo Prep again to discuss the Rio Hondo Prep victory from Friday night over Temple City, 55-14. An absolute destruction from the get-go, much like some of the other games this year have been. So we're going to chat with Mark today about the game and also look forward to this upcoming game this weekend that was supposed to be a bye week. But if you remember, Linfield Christian in week 2 had to cancel their game with Rio and postpone it to this open week. So it's a Saturday night down in Temecula, rescheduled. Linfield Christian had some COVID issues apparently, or something of that nature. Anyway, glad they're going to get the game in. So we'll talk about that game. Here's the plan for today. We're going to talk with Mark Carson, the head coach, like we have been the past few Mondays. But then we're also going to, this is scheduled, so we're in real time right now as we're recording. This is happening. We are supposed to be joined by Rio Hondo Senior Gio Ortega, the all-around athlete who does it all, is great impact on defense, is kind of a big play guy on offense, whether it's catching passes or running the ball as that third back out of the backfield. A lot of trickery. I mean, he's a punt returner, just big time plays from Gio Ortega the past few years for Rio Hondo Prep. So we're going to be joined by him for a couple of minutes. And then at the end of the show, if we can, we're going to bring back Coach DeChon from Linfield Christian, just talk to him for 10 minutes or so, 15 maybe, about his team, how they're doing. They're 0-4, so they're not doing great. But it was fun chatting with him not only a few weeks ago in preparation for the week 2 game, but also if you haven't heard him already, he had a great almost 2-hour podcast a few months back called Heart of a Lion. If you haven't heard it, go check it out for sure. But anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully it all comes out smooth and it all works. But that is what we are scheduled to do here today, and chatting Rio Hondo Prep football as we do on Mondays in the high school football season. A couple housekeeping items. You guys who are Get Home Safe podcast fans, you know I have retired police officer Bill Barnes on every Wednesday. Most Wednesdays we'll say. At least for now, we're not sure scheduling wise if that's going to continue as often anyway. Bill might also just need a break with some of the things he's doing in private security and his life now. So there may be a break, we'll say, from the weekly Wednesday weigh-in with Bill Barnes. He and I are still in contract disputes. No, just kidding. There's no contract. Indeed, he does it out of friendship, and I enjoy doing it with him. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to join us this upcoming week. And he and I just have to sit down and talk and figure it out. But just a notice out there for fans that for now, it could just be Mondays and Fridays here at the Get Home Safe podcast, with Mondays being the Rio Hondo Prep reaction show from the football game, Friday recapping it and kind of looking ahead to the upcoming week. So, and then of course our Friday guests, Friday episodes, I should say, a fun new guest every week. I've already recorded a few that I'm really excited about to put out for you guys. Just long form conversations about people's journey, maybe their jobs, maybe their life in general. So more continuation of that, I should say, here on the podcast. But as far as Wednesdays go, we may be taking a break, but I'll keep you guys posted. Keep an eye out on social media. And I did actually see Bill last night, and we talked a little bit about that. So I will keep you guys updated and posted. And if it ends up being a twice a week show, with maybe Bill coming around once a month or something, then maybe we change it to Tuesdays and Fridays. But for now, Mondays and Fridays is what we'll keep doing, and hopefully have Bill Barnes on Wednesdays here in the next week or so. But just keep your eyes peeled on our social media platforms, as always. And for those who don't know, I know some of you get tired of me hearing this, or sorry, it's a rough morning. It's a little early, and I stayed up very late last night watching that UCLA Fresno State game, which I'll get to in a second. But anyway, our social media platforms, guys, if you can, we appreciate all the support. Give us a like, give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just greatly appreciate it. And of course, our email address, gethomesafepodcast@yahoo.com. We want to hear from you guys. And I also encourage you, send in a voice message. It says at the bottom of our episode notes, not on YouTube, but on the other platforms, Apple, Google, and places of that nature. You can send in a voicemail, and of course at anchor.com. But I will post that link after, again, Rio Hondo games, where you can send in a voice message. You know, it could be anything. It could be saying, man, I love the offense tonight. The ground game was great. It could be asking, hey, why does this play work? Or how, it could be anything. Let's just talk Rio Hondo football, much like callers after a game with USC, frustrations or joy, which I'll also get to regarding USC here in a second. But yeah, I just want to make this interactive if possible. I did get two great questions from two Rio Hondo alums, Fred Montablanco and Maynard Bajorquez, that had two great questions for head coach Mark Carson that I will get to with Mark here upcoming. So those are just a few things that, really keeps this podcast going. I appreciate the comments on YouTube, appreciate the comments on all the Facebook posts and Twitter posts and things of that nature. So yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to check that out on social media. Get Home Safe Podcast is our handle, or our catchphrase, hashtag. I don't even know what it's called really, but on Twitter, it's Get Home Safe Pod. So those are some ways to follow the podcast, and of course, just support it and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to probably do some more Facebook Live videos throughout the week, not an official episode, but just a reaction to really college football and the NFL in the middle of the week, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling it out. But I want to talk about USC and UCLA real quick. I'll even talk to Mark about this, but USC looked flat early, right? First half almost. And then Jackson Dart comes in, and USC 45 unanswered points. I mean, good for them and their new interim coach to get that win up in Washington State. I think USC has this habit of maybe having the wrong quarterback on the field. Remember when it happened with Sam Darnold a few years ago, how he wasn't the quarterback to start the season in his junior season. He was behind Max Brown, and that's no disrespect to Max Brown, but Darnold had a much better career. And, I'm not saying Keaton Slovis isn't a great quarterback, but what we saw from Jackson Dart yesterday on Saturday was really impressive. So we'll see. And going forward, the USC head coaching job, I talked about it on Friday with my guest, Temple City alum Desmond Reed. If you guys haven't heard that episode, be sure to check that out. A lot of fun talking USC football, but he had some insight and some thoughts on the coaching changes. I'm thinking here, if it's Dante Williams, I believe, right? I don't want to mess up his name, but the interim coach for SC, if he goes 10-0 or 9-1, whatever, do they consider him? I don't know if fans would like that, but you also couldn't necessarily argue with the results. So whatever happens, I do know this: USC fans are not going to be happy, and I'm one of them. I mean, I understand the fan base and how people are, but anyway. And then I don't want to be quick here because I want to get to Mark Carson, and then UCLA, what a game that was last night. Look at SC fans are laughing at UCLA and people, all the doubters who with UCLA, they're giving them a hard time this morning. But I said it last week, I think, and I said it. I said Fresno State, you don't mess around with those guys. They played Oregon tough, and I couldn't believe that this is the fourth straight year Fresno has beaten UCLA. That's unbelievable. I don't know where I've been, but Fresno State's a real program, man. They always have been. They don't get the notoriety. They got guys who play with a chip on their shoulder. And their quarterback last night, Hayden, I was like blown away, as so many people were. What a stud, a dude that just battled, was fighting an injury. And man, Jake Hayner, of Fresno State, just balled out 450 yards or something, almost single-handedly won that game. After Fresno almost fumbled it and gave it right back to UCLA. The Bruins played hard. They tried to, finish that out with a comeback win, taking the lead with 55 seconds, but then Fresno takes the lead with 15 seconds. Just an unbelievable football game. And I stayed up kind of with one eye open, knowing I had to get up early today for the podcast. So crazy football times here in Southern California. And, people ask me, I got the question again this week, what's with you in high school football? Why are you caring so much about all this? And I'm like, well, people can talk SC or UCLA football, and there's Rams football and, whatever, Raiders, whatever your team is. But, there's not a place to talk Rio Hondo football. So why not here? Why not us? Why can't we do that? So that's what we're going to continue to do here, at least again, during the high school football season, because it's my show. I could talk about what I want to talk about. And it's good opportunity for the kids to get some publicity and to promote the program. And a lot of people out there, a lot of Rio Hondo fans from the past, who I think it's a good opportunity, a good way to keep them involved and keep them intrigued, because it's easy to, be discouraged by other teams in your life. But if you go back to your roots, go back to where it all began, kind of, that hometown feel, I think it's something to run with. So we're going to keep doing it. Anyway, I've chatted long enough. Let's bring on head football coach Mark Carson. And then hopefully after that, Rio Hondo Senior Gio Ortega. And to finish out the show, head coach of Linfield Christian, DeChon Burns. So that's the plan. Let's get right to it and bring on, once again, head football coach Mark Carson for Rio Hondo Prep to discuss the Week 4 win over Temple City High School. Okay, I'm joined once again by head football coach Mark Carson, coming off a big victory over Temple City High, 55-14, to improve to 4-0. Good morning, Mark. How you feeling this weekend?
Good morning, Matt. Feeling great. Always feeling good after a W, but extra good. USC looked good yesterday. Things are rolling. Had a fun birthday party with my daughter and her friends here yesterday. So it's been a great weekend so far.
Wow. You can't do better than that. Now I got to ask you, do the donuts taste better on Sunday after a victory on Friday, or do they always taste good?
Rose's Donuts never disappoints, but yeah, everything's better after a W though, for sure.
Gotcha. We'll have to make them an official sponsor here of the podcast upcoming. Because I know Sunday mornings you got to get those donuts for the kids. You send me a picture of that cronut you talked about. That looked heavenly, man. Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. They don't mess around over there.
Starting Sundays off right. Well, Mark, what are initial thoughts on the victory from Friday night? A lot of points, good all around effort, I thought, by the boys.
Yeah, a lot of different guys got in on the action as far as scoring goes. Had a defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown. A guy like Trevor Scott scored his first ever touchdown in his football career on a long pass play, which was awesome. Speaking of Trevor, our special teams were a lot cleaner this week. At least our PAT, that's really something we focused on during the week and cleaned that up. And so happy to see that improvement. Ryan McCullough was just dominant up front. They had no answer for him. And it was good to see a spread team, because we think our league is pretty much all spread. And so good to see a spread team and work on our not only our blitz packages, but our coverages behind those blitzes and how those all supposed to work together. And so that was good. Still got some stuff to work on, but no injuries. Fun night at Care Park. It was KYL night, so I had a ton of kids out there, and they had a good time running around the park, I think, most of the time. But we did a halftime competition for them, and great concessions. It was just a fun night all around.
Awesome to hear. I think Rio does a better job than anybody really in promoting the youth to come out and watch. I mean, kids wearing their jerseys, getting in free. I mean, that's got to be extra special for you and your team, Mark, to put on a show for the kids, because most of the Rio Hondo Prep players were those kids just a few years ago.
Exactly. And just trying to continue the tradition and build like we do from within. And a lot of our guys, they're assistant coaches in the care program. And so I think they feel special when the kids they coach come and watch them play. And a lot of them took pictures after the game and stuff. And it was cool. It was cool.
Very awesome. Yeah, we all have memories of getting wristbands from our favorite players as kids, and then you as a player. The kids are looking up to you. It really is something special there at Rio. You mentioned Trevor Scott, his first touchdown ever. I didn't know that. That's all. I saw the touchdown there, and I was like, okay, that's cool. You don't hear his name too often on the touchdown end of things, but you also you mentioned the defensive touchdown. The big man, Paul Alina. Is that how you say his name?
Elena. Yeah,
Elena.
Paul. I couldn't be happy for him. Paul's one of our 4 team captains, and just worked super hard. And kind of preparing for this season, and he's having a great season. And so for a big guy who plays O-line and D-line, never not going to get his name called a lot, but for a big guy like that to scoop and score, it's fun for him when he was hyped, and well-deserved, and we were happy for him.
Yeah, I love the big man getting the touchdowns, Mark. There's nothing better in football really than the big man getting a touchdown, jumping on the ball.
Rumbling, stumbling.
Yeah. All that unnoticed, unrecognized work pays off, so good for him. It was cool to see again, if you get a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown, you generally are going to be in pretty good shape. You mentioned McCullough, 4 sacks on the night, just couldn't be blocked. What I was impressed with, Mark, was you kicked off a lot because you scored a lot. I thought the tackling and the kickoff coverage really was outstanding.
Yeah, it was a special focus this week, like I said about not only the PA team, but the special teams in general were focused, and worked on some trick stuff that we'll unveil as needed. And
Sure.
did a good kind of chunk of time on special teams, and you like to. It's good for the guys to see the payoff when they execute on the field.
Oh yeah, it's way more fun to execute than to not. And there was a kickoff in particular. It seemed like it was still semi early in the game, and it seemed like it got the team because it happened right in front of the sideline. I think it was Aaron Size made an absolute great textbook tackle on a kickoff. It really seemed like it fired up the guys right in front of the bench there.
Yeah, and if you watch that, he got popped and got knocked down, and then we don't want anyone to stay down, so we're yelling on the sideline, like, get up, Aaron, get up. And he gets up, and then to go see him. So then that kind of draws everyone eye to him. And then you're watching him, and then he gets the tackle. It was cool. Yeah. So everyone fired up for him.
Oh man, relentless effort. I mean, anybody could see the big touchdown plays, right? All the guys running around, but it's these little things that I like to see and point out, because that's what football's about. We live in this fantasy football age where it's all about, putting up big numbers. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see the 4th and 1 stop. I want to see the extra effort on a kickoff or something. So, and then the big man jumping on the ball. So really good stuff. I mentioned the special teams touchdown, punt return, Gio Ortega, 60 yards. A great play from him. Nothing new there. That's what he does. He's going to be joining us here in about 30 minutes or so when I'm done with you. The first player on the show this season, one of your great seniors.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Gio has to say. Great young man, great football player, but even a better person. And so I think you'll enjoy that. I think the listeners enjoy that. Great family. And it'll be good, I think.
Cool.
He's got to pull something out of him. He's kind of a quiet guy, but you can pull something out of him and get him talking. He'll be good.
Oh, that's crazy to hear that guys of that caliber, an athlete really, are just kind of quiet, cool, calm, cool, collected type of guy. That's cool. A humble guy sounds like.
Yeah. If you want something fun to bring up, ask him about the couch.
The couch.
The couch in the locker room. Yeah. He kind of.
Okay, we're gonna write that down. Coach Carson says couch, whatever that means. That's funny stuff. So no, I'm gonna ask him, and
you'll put him under pressure. Yeah.
Hey, today we're recording Sunday morning, of course, and today is the Rio Hondo Prep inaugural. Is that correct? Who's the incoming president?
Yes, you're correct. Down at Knott's Berry Farm. So the hotel is the location for the inaugural, and then the kids get to spend the rest of the day at the park. So they're looking forward to that. And the president is none other than our QB, Damian Diaz.
My man. Yeah. I love it. Senior quarterback president. I can relate to this. I love
Yes,
it.
yeah.
I can relate to this.
Yeah.
If Knott's Berry Farm, to those kids listening out there, that was probably my favorite of the inaugurals. I think we did one. Maybe it was something else, but no, I think it was, that was a fun time partying there at the park. So yeah, kids will have fun today. Just enough fun. Science camp is tomorrow, of course, or Monday.
Yeah.
So Mark, I got a couple questions for you from some alum, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Our first question coming from West Point graduate Maynard Bajorquez is a very loyal listener to the program, from the class of 2004. Great teammate of mine, a Tiger. I believe he played for you as a Tiger in Carey Youth League. And Maynard, a father of one. They're expecting another child in January. So congrats to Maynard and his wife. But anyway, here's what Maynard had to say. Several questions for Coach Carson. Who are your assistants? What are their roles, and how are you developing them so they can continue to shape the young men and be a positive influence? Great question from our West Point grad, Maynard.
Great question. Now is it General Bajorquez now? Or, what is he doing?
He's working up the ranks, man. Captain, I believe.
Captain, yeah. Great question, Maynard. Good to hear from you. Hope all is well. So it's funny, that question, you think of our assistants, and I probably have the largest coaching staff on the planet, because I think of our assistants, I go all the way down to the coach coaching 7 or 8 year olds in care, and all the way up through the guys who are actually on the sideline with us on Friday nights. So you add all that up, there's probably 40 or 50 assistants who really help build what we have at Rio Hondo Prep. But I know your question was probably pertaining to the coaches on the sideline on Friday. And so I'll start with those guys. And they're awesome. My only criteria for being an assistant is you got to be smarter than me. And so as long as you're smarter than me, you can be an assistant on our staff. And so start with our OC, Randy Johnson, who's to me, an offensive genius, mastermind. And the fact I think Randy could get any group of guys and he can move the ball and score points. And now, depending on how good those guys are, will be how much we move the ball and how many points we score. But our number one thing is it's all about the ball. And so he does a great job, number one, preaching ball security and taking care of the ball. And then our style lends to that. We're a running team, run first team, which promotes ball security. And then that, of course, if it's going well, sets up our play action pass, which is kind of our bread and butter for big plays. And so he does that, runs the offense exactly how we want to run it, and gets guys in space. The execution of the blocking scheme, all that falls on him, and he's just tremendous. So got Randy, and then on the offensive side of the ball, really helping him the most with offensive line is Dave Drain, who was a all-state lineman in his own right back in the day, and part of the Drain family, right, coaching tree. So I always feel security blanket when I got a Drain on the sideline. So and we got Dave, and then we also have his brother Ed, who's a defensive assistant, and he does he coaches inside linebackers, and he also signals in our defense. JT Parker coaches outside linebacker, our hybrid overhang players, also coaches receivers, and helps with defense. And then you have AJ Corsini, our hype man, who does D-line. Is also our JV head coach, and this does a great all-around job. Haven't seen him as much because of the fires raging in California, but Jason Wiley will help us with DBs. Will Tarico, just a super bright guy. He's a great coach, and he comes out on Friday nights and is another offensive assistant. He's our spotter up in the booth, and does a great job working with Randy and Dave on the offense, setting up stuff and game plan in that way. And then this year we had, in addition to those coaches, a coach from Kazakhstan. His name is Arman Abakurov, and he's interning with us for 2 months. He was connected to us by Rocky Seto, who met him at a pastor's conference of all things. And he asked if he knew anyone. They were at this conference, and Armand asked if there's anyone here who knows about football, and someone connected him with Rocky, and then they became friends over the last year or two. And he wanted to come out and intern somewhere and to learn the game. He plays and coaches football in Kazakhstan. And Rocky connected him with us, and it worked out. And so it's been great. And yeah, so that's been really fun. So that kind of rounds out our staff, but our staff is an awesome staff, and it's really the byproduct of the CARE program and all the great coaching they get growing up.
Wow, a lot to unpack there. That is awesome. Kazakhstan, I didn't know you guys had someone on the staff. I didn't expect to hear that. That's outstanding, man. The other thing that jumps out off the page really is kind of the youth, the young ages of the staff, except for you and Randy. I mean, it really has been these past couple of years a new era of RHP football, after the great traditions of Randall Johnson and Mr. Candrain, of course, as you mentioned. So you got a lot of coaches for a kind of a small roster. It's kind of it's kind of nice. The ratio player to coach ratio there is pretty good. Yeah. Now nothing falls through the cracks. So
Details. And those young guys are great. And I think people, our older staff might have thought of me as, hey, you're the young guy, Mark. No, I'm not really the young guy anymore. I was 15, 20 years ago. And so we made a concerted effort to get young guys in, and not only are they great coaches, but they just connect really well with the guys, and so on different levels, not just football. And so I think it's important to have young guys on your staff to kind of keep that, and the players appreciate that. So it's important.
And I always find it impressive. All those coaches down there, they are able to coach and referee at the same time. I mean, it's phenomenal work by the coaches there on the sideline, giving out their opinions quite loudly. Yes, I'm talking to you, Drains, both of you. Anyway, my 2 cents. What was I gonna say? Now, are you kind of the Nick Saban approach where you see Nick Saban, he's always yelling at assistant coaches. If the players mess up, he's mad at his assistant coaches. I mean, I know you get after kids too, but do you hold the coaches maybe to higher standards than you do the players?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They got to be accountable for those guys. And I'm going to, get, maybe not yell at them, but give them a death stare first. Like, what was that? Or like, they look like, and or say something over the headset. But yeah, they're definitely, responsible, and they're the ones who are going to get the ire of the coach first. So, but then we'll give it to the players if they need to hear it too.
Take real quick, if you can, take the listeners into that headset, because I'm trying to simulate this for people. You got all these headsets. I mean, obviously everyone has a mic there, and so you can hear everybody. It's just got to be chaos in there. Or is there kind of an organized way that you are about, hey, no one talk, or I talk, or I don't know. How does that all break down? Is there an on-off switch? What is that? How's that work?
Yeah. Well, there's only 2 headsets, the one in the booth and mine, that can hear both sides of the ball. So otherwise they're divided offense, defense.
Oh,
And so the offensive coaches can talk to each other. And the defensive coaches can talk to each other, but I can talk to both.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of, as Will Tarico up in the booth.
Oh yeah, I've heard you've blown out some eardrums really with some of your antics before. You're screaming constantly, but hey, that's very, very cool. Glad to hear Rio Hondo. Man, you got Kazakhstan, you got a fireman. I mean, very wide range of guys there. That's outstanding. They're very passionate. I love watching them work. They care about the kids and care about Rio Hondo football. So question number 2, Mark, and back to question 1. All good coaches surround themselves with great assistant coaches. That's just at all levels. That's how it works.
Right. You're only as good as your assistant coaches. So,
okay. Another question from a Rio Hondo alum, Fred Monteblanco from the class of 2005. Greatly appreciate both these guys writing in. I tried to encourage voicemails and emails, but just got 2. But hey, we'll go from here. Quick question from Fred after watching the game on Friday night. He said, question for Coach Carson. Does it worry you that your team might get complacent early on with all the success you guys have had early on in this season?
Short answer, yes. But we like to think with our style of preparation that it doesn't matter. So we don't prepare any different for Temple City than we will or did for Poly or will for Campbell Hall, or, it's the same. And so we're not like, all right, guys, now we really got to focus and practice this week. We're not like that. It's we're just doing the same thing we always do. And the opponent might just be a little better or whatever, a little worse than the prayer week. It doesn't matter. And so I think just keeping that consistency, and obviously our preparation outside of practice, as far as detail and the amount of film you watch on a team, might increase with the level of opponent. I'm not going to lie and say that's different. You can watch someone and after 5 minutes you say, all right, we don't need to watch much more of this film. But someone else, it might be a lot longer. And so, but as far as the practice goes, it's all going to be the same. And so to us, it's a faceless opponent, and we're just getting ready to do our thing against whoever steps on the field against us. And that's our mindset. That being said, though, it's the league games, which are the games we have to win. We could be 0-4 right now and still in position to playoffs if we win our 3 league games. Those are coming up, and those will be our toughest games. And you would like to have had a little adversity before that, I think, to kind of wake the guys up or make sure the guys are sharp. Not that being confident isn't good. We like being confident. I think that's important going into games, but you also want to know that you're not unbeatable, and that we got to play well. And so even like last week's game where the special teams were bad, and I think that kind of woke us up there. And you always have stuff you could point out, and we'll make the point, hey guys, even though we scored on this player, picked up a good gain, it wasn't blocked cleanly. Like, we didn't hit everyone exactly right, or hey, we stopped them 3 and out, but it should have been, they should have got 6 yards instead of 9 or whatever. Just we'll find little things like that to work on.
Yeah,
we do worry about it because the games we have to win are coming up, and they're going to be tough. So.
Yeah. What would be a good way? I mean, the enemy of complacency is consistency, maybe, and just that you can combat complacency with being consistent, not just going through the motions, but keeping it the same at all times, no matter who you're playing. Very, very well said, Mark. Yeah, you worry about it too, especially when you guys have outscored your opponents. I mean, whatever, 200 to, it's so lopsided that, I think challenges are good, but health is important too. You guys have a kind of some adversity this week in the sense that you have science camp. Meaning practice really isn't going to happen like it normally does. So are you concerned at all about really not having much practice this week and then playing Linfield Christian on Saturday? What are your thoughts on that whole thing this week?
Yeah, now, so there was a change. So our lower classmen, freshmen, sophomores are going to Arizona still, but the Angeles National Forest, because of the fire danger, isn't letting us go to camp. And
Okay.
so our upperclassmen will be on campus. But that being said, we only have 13 upperclassmen or 14 who play football. So it's not like we can have those lower classmen who have done awesome are pretty much our scout teams. And so as far as any kind of preparation that way, we're going to be able to run scout. We're only going to have 14 guys. And so preparation this week, we're still probably going to give their bodies kind of at the halfway point a week off of hitting. But we'll be in the weight room, we'll watch film, and we'll go out and still game plan and prep for Linfield, just without our lower classmen. So it'll be a modified practice week, probably practice a little shorter. And but it is tough because the lower classmen are going to get off that bus from Arizona Friday night and then wake up the next morning and got to travel out to Temecula for a game. And so really getting that continuity together, it does scare us a little bit. The fact that it could be tough from a continuity standpoint and just our normal rhythm of a game. But this was the game, if you remember, that got canceled back in week 2, and we still wanted to play it. So we decided to take the game regardless, and so we're going for it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, like you said, I think like you said, adversity, and give us a little adversity, give us something we got to work through.
Yeah, absolutely. The extra day helps, I'm sure.
Yes.
But it is nice that you will be getting some practice in here. That's good to hear. As far as Linfield Christian goes, this surprises me. I think they schedule some tougher opponents probably, but they are struggling. I'm hopefully going to talk to Coach Burns today about the upcoming game, but they're 0-4, have really only had one close game, and that was their opener. What are your thoughts on Linfield? I don't know if you've seen the film on them yet, or I guess you guys did a few weeks ago, but you're finally playing them. What are your thoughts about the Lions?
Yeah, well-coached team and great program. So we're not taking them lightly for sure. And it is the sit-out period has ended, and it being week 5. And so I'm not sure if they do, but if they do have transfers, those guys will be eligible. And it would not surprise me if Coach Burns has shored up his roster a little bit and has some maybe new guys that'll step on the field Friday or Saturday. So yeah, we're looking forward to a tough game. And you add the travel and all that into it. It's going to be tough, regardless of what kind of team they put on the field. But we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, playing Landon Goodwell's old coach from college. It'll be fun we've talked about this game and a lot and just the matchup. And it's going to be nice to finally play this thing out. You and Coach Burns, it's not about you guys, about your players, but still you guys have somewhat of a relationship, right? Just from the connection with Landon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I've met him at a coaching clinic before and talked, and yeah. And we're the ones who kind of found each other to set up this game. And so, yeah, it's cool. And it's a 2-year contract. So they'll come to us next year. Oh. And yeah, so we're looking forward to it.
Mark, real quick, is that generally how scheduling works for you guys outside of league? Is it generally a 2-year thing? Is it a 1-year thing? How does that work?
Just depends on what the other schools are looking for. Sometimes it's just a 1 year. Sometimes it's a 2-year. Just depends.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I want to talk because I think it's relatable to your program and kind of what happened this weekend. I mean, these are some games in college football that jumped out to me. San Diego State beats Utah. Northern Arizona beats Arizona. BYU beats Arizona State. And the big one last night, Fresno State beats UCLA. Tough weekend for the Pac-12. But I'm telling you sleep on these mid-majors, especially the teams out here on the West Coast, the Mountain West and such. A lot of David slaying Goliath. And I know that's something that kind of Rio prides itself on. So, yeah. I mean, what did you mention? Is that the junior high team or the JV team you posted was like beating some of these bigger schools like Oaks Christian and Chaminade?
Yeah. So that's our junior high team.
Wow.
Yeah. Junior high team, it has a great group coming up, and going to be exciting to watch RHP fans. Yeah. They're in a new league, the same league we're in for varsity football. They have a league, they call it the Delphic League, which includes Brentwood, Camel Hall, Viewpoint, and then Chaminade, Oaks Christian, Harvard Westlake are also in the league. And yeah, they beat Oaks Christian week 1, beat Chaminade or Village Christian last week, and then Chaminade yesterday. And so, yeah, it's really cool, really exciting to see that. Yeah,
man, the future is now. I gotta love it.
Yeah, we're fired up about that group coming up. But yeah.
That is outstanding. Well, and then I mean, I know you're a big college football fan. I mean, some of the scores I rattled off. I mean, and crazy, right?
I mean, Pac-12 took one on the chin from the Mountain West yesterday. I mean, that is crazy, but good football is going to win out, and I don't think they look at your conference alignment and care, and so if you're playing good football, which Fresno State seems like they got that Fresno State kind of swag back, and you challenge. They're not going to back down physically, and so man, that was a great game. And then BYU's always playing with their 25 and 26-year-old men. They're always going to be a challenge playing against 18-year-olds. You got essentially age players playing against 18, 19-year-olds. And who was the other one?
Who was it? Well,
Northern Arizona.
Division I AA.
Yeah,
Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, that's rough for Arizona, man. That's that's pretty inexcusable. But great win for those programs. And yeah, you know what? It's labels and all that, your conference affiliation. Once you get in between the lines, that goes out the window.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
cares. And so it's like
Football, man. Let's play
football. Yeah, let's go.
Let's play it out. I mean, no, Northern Arizona, the Lumberjacks, baby. We got a house up there, or my dad does. And so always intrigued. And beautiful up there. Brian Hunter, one of your former players. Didn't Brian Hunter play at Northern Arizona? I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Good win for the Lumberjacks. And then, playing in between the lines. I stayed up all night watching that game. I was dozing off. I was like, I got to interview with Coach Carson in the morning, but I had to watch the Bulldogs. Never sleep on Fresno State, man. They are a real program.
Anytime, anywhere. Yep.
Yeah. Very Rio Hondo Prep ish. So, outstanding, Mark. Well, I will let you get off to your dad duties for Sunday morning. Sounded like they're getting a little restless there. They're ready for some donuts. So
you heard him in the background. Yeah.
You got to get on that road, man. But 4-0, teams looks great. Nice beating a local team, local public school soundly.
Yeah. That's always cool. And I think it helps establish us in the area as, one of the few big time programs in the area. And that's what we want to be,
Yeah, you keep getting some good publicity from 210 Sports, and one of the only undefeated teams in the area. And that's what I say. I say, bring on. You guys may be in a high division for the playoffs and might have to end up playing some of these bigger schools. So I hope you guys are ready for the challenge.
We're looking forward to it, and it's really out of our hands. So it is what it is, and we'll see. We're still waiting and see right now. Dave Drain, he always games it out. And he figures out who we're playing. He's figured out the system, and we'd be Division 6 if it started this week. And so
out of 14, out of 14,
14, and I think he said our opening opponent would probably be La Habra, who was Division 2 last year.
Oh boy, La Habra's a very good program indeed.
So we'll see. They tell us that it's supposed to all shake out and all make sense at the end, but right now we're kind of eyebrows raised. We're like, really? Okay, we'll see. But it is what it is. There's nothing we could do.
No, you play the team in front of you. So that should be fun. And in closing, Mark, your thought, I had Desmond Reed on Friday, fun podcast talking USC football.
Yeah.
USC fired Clay Helton. I mean, what are your thoughts on that and your beloved Trojans?
Yeah, well, from everyone you hear, I don't know, but everyone you hear, Clay Helton was just a great guy, great human being, but just kind of in over his head. And so I think it was time, or actually long overdue. Yeah. And beating Wazoo isn't necessarily, a major feather in your cap, but the way they did it, 45 unanswered points, that's impressive against anybody. And I tell you, I like Braveheart, man, that freshman QB. I don't know if you saw him, but he had face paint on one side of his face, and he looked like a gamer, dude. And it's like, to run the offense they run, I think you need a mobile quarterback like that. And, so it's going to be exciting to see. I'm still not, we're going undefeated the rest of the way type thing, but at least they came out and represented a little bit.
Oh man. Well, we'll definitely talk some more USC football here throughout the season briefly. It's maybe the coaching rumors heat up too, but Mark, have a good week. I know the inaugural today, incoming president, Damian Diaz, congrats to him, the senior quarterback. And there's one other thing. Oh, having your dad's going to be the guest this Friday. A little hard to hear through the audio, but hopefully you enjoy that episode this Friday.
Look forward to that. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, indeed. All right, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
You take care. Talk to you soon. Good luck this week.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Always great chatting with head coach Mark Carson. A lot of fun discussing the game from last week, the victory over Temple City High School, 55-14. The Cares improved to 4-0 on the young season. It's moving right along here as we're getting into late September, early October. The weather's changing, and man, it's good to be talking high school football here on the Get Home Safe podcast. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be joined by Rio Hondo Prep Senior Gio Ortega. Had a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown this last Friday. Is kind of a big play guy. Every time he touches the ball, it seems like he's going to score. Very active on defense and, of course, in special teams, as I just mentioned. So let's get right to him and bring on Rio Hondo Senior from the class of 2020. 22, Gio Ortega. Okay, I'm joined by Rio Hondo Prep Senior Gio Ortega, wide receiver and strong safety for the Cares. Has had a great season this year, great success on the field in previous years as well. Gio Ortega, welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast.
Hey, Matt.
How are things, man? Gio, you guys off to a good start, 4-0. How you guys feeling with the at the start of the season here being the games have been lopsided, but how are you guys feeling right now?
We're feeling pretty good. Feeling very strong, but always could get better.
Good to hear it, man. That's the right answer. That's the right answer. Coach Carson will be happy to hear that. Yeah, you guys don't get a whole lot of media interaction here, right? So this is good to say all those cliches that you hear all the time.
Yeah.
The guys in NFL and college, but no, it's good to talk with you, Gio. Been a fan of yours. Watching, it seems like watching you play. Seems like every time you touch the ball, man, you're gonna break a long gain. You play wide receiver on offense, so you get passes thrown to you, but you also get a lot of carries with that Rio Hondo offense. It's kind of odd. I mean, how do you like your role in the Rio offense, being kind of that third option or that third running back, but kind of a pass threat as well?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, Coach Johnson puts a lot of plays in there for like all of us, and with all the motion and stuff, the misdirection, it's cool to get the ball sometimes and run it. And yeah, I mean, he's a great offensive coach.
Well, a couple things that impressed me about you, Gio, is the little things, and I think that all these things matter. But having two hands on the ball as you're about to get tackled, approaching the goal line, I noticed that against Verdugo Hills. I also noticed, when other guys are scoring, you're one of the first guys down the field, running with them, celebrating. So you seem like a very humble guy. I've never met you before, but just I can tell a lot from your performance on the field. So what does it feel like to kind of run down the field, and what gets you so excited about your teammates scoring, not just you scoring, but your teammates with big plays?
I mean, just seeing the team really succeed and just having fun with it, having fun with the game, everything about it, all the hard work we put into, I feel like it pays off. And it doesn't matter like one or two guys scoring, but everyone. For example, like Paul Lena scored this past week. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
The big man touchdown. You got to love those guys. Work hard for you running backs and wide receivers. It's good to see them get some love.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, you got to settle a debate here. I don't know how often this takes place, but who's faster, you or Jonathan Guerrero?
Oh, you can't do that to me. Yeah. We're pretty fast. We're both pretty fast. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. We gotta maybe have a race at the end of the season after all the season is worn on us and stuff. Anyway, Gio, you had a great punt return for a touchdown against Temple City, 60-yard return for a touchdown. Take me through that play. I mean, it seems like you're faster than all those guys out there, but I mean, you had some great teammates leading some blocks for you. What do you remember about the punt return on Friday night?
Oh yeah, the scheme Coach Drain has done for us this past year has been really good. So, I mean, the blocking was on point. The guys kind of told me on the sideline to just like fair catch it or just leave the ball so we could kind of drive down the field. But I mean, I was standing right in the middle. The ball came right to me, so I just picked it up and started running. And like I said, the scheme Coach Drain has made for us this past year has been really good. So,
yeah. No, those special teams after, last week was a little rough. This week, you guys got on point for sure. You made the right decision on that play, and a big explosive play for you. I mean, do you honestly feel that, Gio, that every time you touch the ball, do you feel like you could score every time you touch it? Is that kind of your mentality every time you touch the ball?
Yeah, I mean, why not score? But also it depends the situation, third and short or any situation. I'm kind of looking at that too, or whatever little yard I could get, and I'll try to get it too.
Outstanding. Well said. That's a good mentality to have. We love the big plays, but sometimes the smart plays are more important. So Gio, you guys are 4-0. You guys look great. I think I speak for a lot of alumni when I say this is a time to not really get complacent, but to keep working hard. Your toughest opponent is the next one in front of you. And so you guys have had great success, but are you guys, ready for the upcoming challenges to not just kind of go through the motions, but continue to work hard every day?
Yeah, definitely. The coaches have been honest about that for the past weeks, blowing teams out or getting big leads. In practice, I feel like they're still pushing us more and more every day with running, with the mental aspect of it, and getting more stuff inside the playbook and all that. So it's good. That's a big like point to make with the team, especially how it's going right now.
Oh, definitely. And, Gio, everyone plays kind of both ways at Rio, but, I've always liked defense more. You get to hit people, you get to try to stop people and stuff. You're a big play guy on offense. What's more fun for you? Be honest. Is it fun for you to play defense or offense, or is it kind of right in the middle?
I'll say maybe 60-40 offense side, but
okay.
I like defense a lot, especially with playing Bandit. You get to rob the positions, and it's really fun. Coach gives us a lot of free time to do stuff.
Now that it seems like with Coach Carson's defense, he's very much about, being active with guys as far as looking like you're going to blitz, backing up, into coverage. It seems like there's a lot going on there. And I think it fits the personnel of you guys very, very well. Gio, you got a great senior class, great group of guys. I'm sure the juniors and sophomores are awesome too, but just talk with me a little bit about your teammates, your senior group of guys, Guerrero, Diaz, just Elena. These guys, tell us about the audience, about some of the seniors and maybe some of the senior leadership of this team.
Oh, the senior leadership is crazy this year. Like you said, we got a lot of guys, and it's nice to have a lot of guys because not everyone, gets the spotlight or whatever, but to us, it doesn't matter. Like JG, Damien, Paul, we all feel like the team is great this year, and we're just pushing more and more. And Paul has been, I'll say, the top captain right now, because to be a captain, you have to serve first, and he's really been that guy.
Yeah, that's very well said. Captain leadership. Yeah, it's something I think Rio trains kids in from an early age, that if you do want to be a leader, you got to be a servant. You got to give to others and be there for everybody. Your roster, as I mentioned, it's spread out, but I think some years there's not as many seniors. This year, you guys have quite a few seniors, and I'll try to see if I can list them all here. Calvin Johnson, Damian Diaz, Jonathan Guerrero, scrolling down, Gio Ortega, yourself, Vincent Lynn, few more here. Trevor Scott, who's been great in the kicking game and had a nice touchdown himself Friday night. That was impressive, huh?
That's super nice.
Oh man. Jaden Sanchez. I love watching him play. He's my kind of player, just in the middle, just, tearing things up. Ray Montez, similar guy. Joaquin Aguilar, Paul Elena, Royal Young, Jason Heaton. This whole roster pretty much is seniors, and I know everyone contributes in their own way, but I think that has a lot to do. A lot of why you guys have been successful is because you guys have so many seniors on this team.
Yeah, that's true. And then as seniors, I feel like everyone talks about brotherhood, but with us, we go out all the time and just do stuff and hang out outside of football, talk about whatever. It's always a good time with those guys.
Well, this, man, but it goes quick. And we all think back to our senior year specifically, I think in high school, and just you can't wait for 3 years to get to that senior year. Then you finally get there and it's over in the blink of an eye. So enjoy the ride while you can. You guys, a fun day today, Sunday. You guys got the inaugural. And I heard from Coach Carson that senior quarterback Damian Diaz is going to be the president today. So you guys excited? Yep. Where's the inaugural going to be?
It's going to be at the Knott's Berry Farm Hotel, I think. And then we're just going straight Knott's Berry Farm after that.
Man, that sounds like a blast. We did that one year too, and it was probably the most fun of the inaugurals we had. What's the theme? Are you guys in tuxedos this year, or what's kind of the dress?
it's kind of a Western theme this year, so I threw a little curveball at us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Western theme, huh? So what do you got going on? You got cowboy hat, cowboy boots. What's Gio Ortega wearing to the inaugural tonight?
Cowboy hat. I didn't get to the cowboy boots.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I didn't get around to it. A big belt buckle, a bolo tie, nice white shirt.
I love it. I love it. We'll have to check out some photos of the Western themed inaugural. We never did that. We always had to wear tuxedos and stuff. That sounds like way more fun.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, science camp was canceled this week, so you guys are going to, in fact, be able to practice a little bit, which is nice because you have the inaugural Sunday and then science camp. I mean, a lot of distractions there to not be able to practice, but you are going to be able to get some work in this week, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Gio, I got to ask you, what makes Rio Hondo Prep football special? I know why it's special to me and alumni and everybody, but as a current player and a senior, have you felt how special it truly is? Or are you just kind of so focused in playing that it's just kind of like, I don't know, to me, while you're playing it, it's extra special, but do you feel kind of that when you guys are playing, that the fact that you guys are in it, that the Rio Hondo Prep football is just a little different?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, again, to talk about brotherhood, you really feel it at Rio, and not just in football, but after football, we still stick around each other. We're still playing different sports with each other. So, I mean, that's really cool. And then on the field, we're always lifting each other up. If someone does something bad, I never hear like, oh, like, why this, why that? It's always like, oh, next one, keep your head on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And with other teams, maybe something goes wrong and you start hearing them talk bad about each other, or yelling at each other. And you never hear that with us guys at Rio. So, I mean, it's pretty special.
Awesome, man. You guys have quite a responsibility to carry on a tradition that has been around for so long. I mean, and one great tradition in the program is Carry Youth League kids coming out to games, wearing their jerseys, watching you guys. Talk to us about what that is like, because it wasn't too long ago, Gio, where you and your teammates, you guys were those little kids looking up to high school players. So what's it like to now be seniors and playing in front of kids?
Oh, it was awesome. This past week was a KYL week. So there's a whole bunch of kids there with their jerseys on and just cheering us on. And we were on the sideline for like parts of the game, you know, it was a pretty big lead. So you just hear kids in the back, oh, like Ryan, JG, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. And then we would walk over, give them a fist bump, you know. It was honestly really cool. I liked it a lot.
Very, very nice, man. Yeah, you guys are larger than life to those kids, and one day they'll be in your shoes, you know, playing ball for kids, and the cycle continues. Gio, what are your plans for after high school? I mean, I know you're still young and everything, but are you going to try to play college football? Do you have any kind of a career in mind if football kind of doesn't happen? What are your thoughts for after high school?
Yeah, if I could play football in college, that would be cool. I mean, it would be a nice opportunity. If not, maybe go into business or kinesiology, I was thinking too. So we'll see. I still really haven't thought about it that much, but we'll see how it plans out.
Awesome, man.
Right now, yeah.
Well, I've been around a lot of college programs over the years. It's a different level depending on the division and everything. But I think you absolutely could play college football somewhere, whether it's D1, JC, D3. That's all up to you, man. But I wish you nothing but the best, and I would love to see you continue playing after high school. But say, man, for the remainder of this season, finish strong, stay hungry, stay humble. I think that's so important, is the humility with you and your teammates. I mean, it's a great group of guys to watch. They all seem to be, again, cheering for each other, happy when someone else scores, not just, it's a great group of guys. It's fun to watch. And you guys are very, very fun to watch, Gio, as well. So do you guys listen to the podcast at all by chance? I'm curious.
Yeah, I know a few of us do.
Okay.
Maybe talk about it at school. It's cool. Yeah.
Nice. Nice, man. Well, happy to do it. Want to promote it up and, just help you guys carry on that tradition of Rio Hondo football. Before I let you go, Gio, I heard a story that I got to let you comment on here. It involves a couch in a locker room. What can you tell us about what went down there? I have sources down at Rio, Gio. We know we know what happened. So tell the audience the story about the couch in the locker room.
That's a good one. This past week, yeah, some of the senior guys thought it'd be a good idea to go to Savers, right? Everything's cheap at Savers. We found a pretty nice couch, $10, you know. We got the big truck, so we went to Savers. When was it? I don't even remember. It was sometime this past week, right? Point is, we got the couch. We went back to Rio. It was Thursday actually. We went back to Rio, put it in the locker room. Everything was good. We didn't get caught Thursday, so everyone was feeling good. Friday comes around, and one of our vice principal, Mr. Edwin Ixta, he sees the couch. He likes it. So we're like, okay, cool. We get to keep the couch. But on Thursday, we had asked Coach Carson if we could have a couch, right? And he gave us a straight no. But we still went on to do it, of course. So then time comes for after school, we have like a club meeting, right? So we're on the locker room, just sitting on the couch, and Mr. Carson walks in. And it's like, I think it was me, Damien, JG, Calvin, Ray, and Roy all on the couch. And he looks at us with a dead stare, and he's like, "What did I tell you guys?" So that was a wrap. Pretty much the story was after that happened, couch had to be out off campus by 3:30. If not, we weren't gonna play, but it all worked out.
I just gave you all this praise about the great senior leadership, and then all those great seniors go out and disobey Coach Carson's orders. He said, no couch in the locker room, and you guys go do it anyway. Did we learn a lesson there, Gio?
Yeah, kind of.
It's not fair. We want to do it. No, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one. We still have some more things planned though.
Okay. Hey, all right. Well, remember, someone's always watching. Well, hey, what Coach Carson says goes. Okay, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
That is funny. That is great stuff. Well, you guys will just have to sit somewhere else. You don't need a couch in there. You guys, anyway. But Gio, enjoy it. You'll figure it out. Hey, man, it's been great talking to you. Enjoy the inaugural today, and have a good week of practice, and look forward to more great success on the field with you and your teammates and moving forward, man. Finish this season strong.
Yeah, thanks. I enjoyed being on the podcast. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course, man. We'll talk to you, and we'll talk some other seniors here in moving forward. And yeah, thanks for listening. Good luck the rest of the way, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you, Gio Ortega, for jumping on the podcast with me for a short little conversation. We're going to try to do this more in going forward, is to have members of the senior class on, just a quick little talk about them, just kind of learn about, their perspective, and kind of get some takes about the Rio Hondo football program from the players themselves for a short interview, short conversation after our talk with Coach Carson on Mondays here at the Get Home Safe podcast. So those seniors out there, stay ready to go, because we'll try to work in different players here and there if we can. If we'll leave that up to Coach Carson. But anyway, one final interview today. It's going to be a quick one. He's been on the podcast before. Coach Burns from Linfield Christian. He will be leading the Lions against the Cares this Saturday night down in Temecula at Linfield Christian. Just want to talk about the upcoming game a little bit that was rescheduled from week 2. The Lions of Linfield Christian are currently 0-4, but I'm confident that Coach Burns will turn them around in due time here, and it should be a very good game this Saturday. So let's get right to it. Our final interview of this episode with head football coach DeChon Burns from Linfield Christian. Okay, joining us once again on the podcast is head coach DeChon Burns from Linfield Christian. He was on the podcast a few weeks ago as we were preparing for the week 2 matchup between Rio Hondo Prep and Linfield Christian. It has been postponed to this Saturday night down in Temecula, 7:00. Coach Burns, welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much for having me, Matt. Good seeing you, my man.
Oh, you too as well. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. I know you're a very busy man, taking some time out of your very busy schedule to join me here for a few minutes. Coach, how are things going with you and your program here that we've played a few games?
We're going well. We're learning, getting our identity. Young squad, so figuring out some things and having the opportunity to play ball and get better each and every week. So I played a few, taking a few lumps, and just getting some things figured out. But we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. The boys come out and they compete, and they're learning what it takes to play the way, the way we need to play, and it looks good. It's good. The future's bright.
Okay. Well, happy to hear it. Yeah, it should be a good game this Saturday night between you guys and Rio Hondo. This game was supposed to be played in week 2. It got postponed for just some issues kind of off the field. And how's the state of the program? Are you guys okay health wise and everything?
Yeah, this it's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, it's a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing everything to get back to normal, but the reality is the new normal comes with some curveballs. And so we had a couple guys that had to follow the COVID deal, and guys that hit us. So to be safe and do the things that we're supposed to do, we just kind of had to push it. We're looking forward to it and prepared and ready to rock. And then, you got teams all across the country that are stinking canceling sometimes the day of. I had a good friend who they were on the bus going to the game, and then they got the phone call, as they were on the bus, that they weren't going to play. It was kind of like, oh, well, but what do you do? Grovel in it, but this thing not a joke. And it kind of hits home for us because we just lost the coach who was on staff for the last 8 years. He just passed away last week due to COVID. So, it's not a game. It's not a game. And we want to be safe and take the precautions that we need to take so that everybody is okay. It's hit our program very closely, and losing Coach Troy Aguayo, and then I lost my father a year ago to COVID. So, it's kind of a spot for me where it's not to take lightly. So
yeah, well, our condolences to you and your coaching staff, your team, and then of course your father. I mean, that's never easy. And yes, our thoughts and prayers your way. And to the Lion family, that's very sad news, and hopefully things get a little better here. Hopefully very soon for you guys.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Well, Coach, we had Landon Goodwell on a few weeks back when we were about to have this game, and he had high praise for you. He said Coach Burns is going to have the guys ready to go. And he said something about, I think it was about loafing, and he said, yeah, back when we were playing, if we didn't get into the TV screen at the end of a play, then we were considered as a loafing. I thought that was a great story.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had a definition, and we have 5 definitions of a loaf. Like we had the definition of a loaf, there was like 5 little key points of what a loaf would be. And it was real simple, getting passed up by another player, turning down a hit, laying on the ground, staying on the ground, changing speed. If you're in a play and you see a guy running, all of a sudden his speed changes, and then he was loafing. So at the end of the day, I had to have my guys in the clip. So if the frame finished and you weren't in the frame, then you were considered loafing. And if you collected enough loaves, the head loafer got a loaf of bread that they were supposed to walk around with for a week. And it was the class, and we had GAs in college and stuff. So if in fact a GA hit the class and he didn't have the bread on him, then it was,
Oof.
There was going to be some issues. So it was literally, you had to have the bread. And, if you continued to loaf, you'd keep the bread until it got up off you, right? Until somebody else got it from you. So I think we had a guy that had a loaf of bread for about 3 weeks, Don't change, or, we don't change the bag out. The bread comes rather rough.
Yeah. And then you have to explain to people, like, why are you carrying around a loaf of bread? It's because
we weren't playing. Attitude and effort are things that the players control, right? And that's the bigger picture. Your attitude and your effort are what you can control, and I don't have anything to do with that, right? So if your effort is bad, attitude is probably right there.
Oh, did we freeze out?
Nice little reminder that.
Sorry. All right. We paused for a second there. We're back. Yeah. Friendly reminder with the loaf of bread there. Oh, you're muted, sir. Okay. We're back. Sorry. Some audio issues there. Yeah. Carrying around that loaf of bread, Coach Burns. I mean, that had to be tough, for the dating life as well. These athletes carrying out a loaf of bread when a pretty girl's trying to talk to you, and you got to explain to her that you didn't try hard enough this past week. So hey, motivation,
attitude and effort, attitude and
effort. I love it. The last thing I'll leave you with, Coach Landon said you had a just incredible talent for being able to, rip guys apart really without ever swearing. I think Tony Dungy famously doesn't use curse words or whatever. And Landon said it felt like he cussed you out, but he never cussed you out. And so did you have any special catchphrases or anything, Coach? Like, oh, Jiminy Christmas or anything like that?
Actually, I say Jiminy Christmas. I'll say Fuckers, with the flip flop, with the flex, mother loving. I think I said mother loving quite a bit. You out of your mother loving mind. We I made a decision not to do that. Like, I made a decision not to curse after the birth of my first son. So I was coaching at Bishop Armand High School, and I was a young, vibrant coach, pretty energetic, and had a very extensive vocabulary in that area. And I just remember just going to practice one day and saying to myself, if my son comes to practice and, he sees daddy going off and cursing, these guys, do I really want I don't really want my son. I don't want him experiencing that. I don't want him seeing that. And not right, and God's important. So I remember coming to practice and it's like, I'm not gonna curse anymore. And that was like in 96. Yeah, 90s, about 90, 97. Yeah, 97. So I'm not gonna curse anymore. 97, 98, yeah. And I just, chose not to, and then it will be tough. I'm not gonna say that I don't, okay? I'd be lying if I said that I don't, and I don't let them slip and I don't let them fly at times, but I don't make it a habit. Like, it's something I can control, and it shows discipline. And then when I had a chance to get to NFL, it's funny you mentioned Coach Dungy. He ended up being one of my mentors and is one of my mentors now. We were in the elevator and we were talking, and we had coached a light guy. We had a linebacker by the name Eddie Mason. We had it at the Redskins.
Oh, you muted yourself. It sounded like you muted yourself. There you go. You're back.
Yeah, sorry about the strong Christian man. And I remember asking Coach in the elevator, or Eddie had mentioned that Coach never really, Coach didn't curse. And he kind of pull you to the side and talk to you in your ear and say a couple things, and then have you feeling really, have you feeling some type of way about what he was saying. So I remember I was coaching, like, how do you do it? He's like, look, man, the spirit, the Lord is there first, and I got to honor God in all that I do. And it just reaffirmed that you don't need to curse a guy out. You need to get more flies with sugar than you can with the other stuff. So I think they appreciate the realness. You got to be real honest. You got to be open, and then, it goes from there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really funny to hear the Jiminy Christmas, mother loving. That's you can curse without cursing, I guess.
With the flex, I don't give a flex, and they just look and they would laugh. And I know I had some isms, I guess. Yeah. They would tease me about it sometimes, like, Coach, but I just couldn't do it,
Well, hey, Landon's a father now and probably doesn't use foul language around his kids. So, hey, it's the cycle of life here with coaches and players. So, Coach Burns, thank you for joining us briefly here on the podcast. Good luck the rest of the way. Should be a fun game with Rio Hondo Prep on Saturday night.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so very much.
Oh, man. And seriously, condolences. God bless you and your family and team moving forward here with your guys' losses of your coach and such.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Talk to you soon, Coach Burns.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, thank you, Coach Burns, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few minutes with me, go down memory lane, share some laughs, and all seriousness. Yes, our condolences to the Linfield Christian Lion family. That's never easy, losing somebody. And just thoughts and prayers with you guys. And it should be a nice, friendly matchup this weekend with Rio Hondo Prep. No bad blood there at all. Just a fun, two great programs that are going to play each other and hopefully bring everyone together a little bit. That's always nice as well. So thank you, Coach Burns. Thank you, Gio Ortega. And of course, thank you, Head Coach Mark Carson, for joining me on the podcast today. It's been a lot of fun. We've shared some laughs. We've kind of gone inside the program, if you will, a little bit more in depth, and looking forward to doing this again next week with a new player, hopefully after the interview with Coach Carson. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate the questions. Maynard Bajorquez, Fred Monteblanco, thank you for sending in those questions for Coach Carson. Hopefully more and more people here will do the same with voicemails and emails. We'd love to hear from you guys just to talk Rio Hondo Prep football, to ask questions about the program, the way things are going, whatever it may be. Love hearing from the fans. So let's get this more interactive. You know where to follow us on all of our social media platforms along the way. So guys, have a great start to your week. Again, we probably won't be here on Wednesday with Bill Barnes, but have a great episode on Friday. Dave Carson Senior, Mark Carson's father, will be on the podcast, and that should just be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will tune in for that. So looking forward to the game this weekend. Hopefully all the kids had a great time at the inaugural on Sunday, and then back to business this week, practicing and preparing for Linfield Christian Lions. Anyway, that's enough out of me, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Friday with interview with Dave Carson Sr. But guys, as always, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or around in third base, get home safe.